Hey, it's Eric Crawford from WDRB. Woke up like everybody else did to the surprising news that Scott Satterfield is leaving Louisville to become the head coach at the University of Cincinnati. Very quickly, let's unpack this and some of the things that it means. Number one, is it a surprise? Yes. There was nothing leaking out, no list of candidates that he was very prominent on. He did this very quietly and efficiently. Have we discussed him leaving before? We certainly have. Before Louisville went and played at Virginia mid-season, there were reports that if he didn't win, he was out. Those reports were false. But I think that notion sat with him, that there was a fan base, a large portion of it, that was ready to get rid of him then. And there will be a significant portion of the fan base now that isn't terribly disappointed at this. You hate to lose a coach to a Cincinnati, a program that Louisville probably feels like it has outgrown in some ways, but it hasn't. That's the sad reality of this. At Cincinnati, you can make a college football playoff. You could move on to better jobs. Great reputation up there and a great situation at Cincinnati. So now, what is the situation at Louisville? They are left to find a coach to coach a bowl game against Cincinnati. That's one of the more bizarre parts of this. And secondly, they're looking obviously at Jeff Brom, and that becomes question number one at Louisville very quickly. Is, does Jeff Brom want to leave the relative security of a Big Ten school that he just won a portion of the Big Ten championship with to come to Louisville, which is looking a little bit shaky right now? I know they're in the ACC, but Big Ten jobs, SEC jobs, those are the gold standards in terms of money, in terms of future revenue potential. So does he make that move to come back home? He's already passed on the chance once. Would he pass on it again? He's going to get that chance. We talked about this. It's interesting. I talked before the Kentucky game. Mark Lieberman and Nick Valvano were hosting the Bob Valvano show, and I went on there with them. And we spent some time talking about Satterfield's future. And I said if he leaves, if he beats Kentucky, I feel like there's a good chance he might go somewhere else. The fan base here never seemed 100% satisfied with him. You wondered if it was a fit. I don't know. Well, now we're going to find out. The other thing that we need to find out is he's got the best recruiting class Louisville has ever signed. How many of those guys are going to stick here at Louisville, and how many follow him to Cincinnati? How many just open it up and go elsewhere? I think we can probably expect some announcements in the next day or two on that. We're going to be watching this. We'll be covering Scott Satterfield's announcement in Cincinnati. We'll be covering events here. For now, Eric Crawford for WDRE Sports.